Hi, I'm Barbara Gaughan-Mueller. It is my honor to interview people who have made a difference on our planet. I'm the host for PausePeacePodcast.org, and each podcast allows us to look at ways that we can bring happiness into our life, peace into our life, and prosperity. And I use that word prosperity because of the reason of our interview person today. Her name is Paula Fellingham. Not only can you watch her today on peacepodcast.org, but she's going to be on Spotify, iTunes, and Google. Welcome, Paula Fellingham.
Thank you so much. I'm just delighted to be here, Barbara.
Well, we're both going to be at the Rotary World Peace Conference, and you were talking to me prior to our interview today, and you were telling me about you have a way for people to bring prosperity into their nonprofits. Well, that kind of excited me, and I thought, well, I could introduce you, or you could just start talking about your children, about your life, or the fact that if you're out there and you're not feeling perfect and you're not bringing in the income you deserve, listen to Paula Fellingham today. She's going to tell you her website. She's going to tell you how you too can bring in the money you deserve to do the work you deserve to bring to our planet. Each of us has a destiny. We're born with that destiny. And I really want you to listen to Paula today. She has found her destiny. She is constantly energized, enthusiastic, and happy. Paula Fellingham, I don't know anybody with more energy than you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much, Barbara, and I'm just honored. I'll go ahead and give my introduction in about 1 minute, and then we'll get to it.
Thank you.
I'm honored to be the mother of 8 children and 24 grandchildren, and I actually have a visual here for you, so you can see that family. Yes. And then I've been honored to receive awards from 3 presidents, President George W. Bush, President Obama, and President Trump, for the work that I do internationally, serving women. And I've been to 37 nations, many of them many times, teaching and training and loving. And I've taught people to go in and put on my events in 152 nations. And so been working on this for over 30 years. And my mission is to lift the level of love, prosperity, and peace on earth. And I do that through educating and just love and teach people how to love themselves and love others. And I have been honored to be the CEO of 3 different companies. And as I launched years ago my nonprofit, the Prosperity and Peace Initiative, it's actually called the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative. And the website is prosperityandpeace.org. And when you go there, you'll see that there are quite a few different wonderful activities and initiatives, projects that we're working on. And I thought so many times about how uncomfortable it is going out and asking for money, because most nonprofits, that's what we do, right? We go out and say, could you please give to this nonprofit? Well, there are hundreds of thousands of nonprofits in the US and millions throughout the world. And I was turned down for a lot of the different, I applied for to a lot of foundations, and what they said is, you need to show profit, a P&L, and I only had the L. And it's true.
Boy, is that a story I hear all the time. They say, Barbara, how do we survive when we want to do the good work on the planet? Well, now we're going to find out.
Yes. And so what I decided was I didn't want to do that anymore. I decided to continue, of course, with a nonprofit, and I train on Zoom and teach people things. And I still travel. Last week, I was in Vietnam with a 3-day women's conference. And before that, Uganda, 7 times to India. And last year, I spoke to 30,000 women at 7 of my events in India. And so I continue doing this work. But at the same time, I thought, you have to figure this out. You have to figure out how to be able to fund your own nonprofit. Because I've seen that there are companies that they tithe, or they give a percentage of all their product profits to their own nonprofit. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. So I am starting, actually relaunching, because I had this back about 10 years ago, relaunching Women's Information Network. And that's what it is, women's with a MENS, informationnetwork.com. And what this is these are women who are helping women live their best lives through celebration, self-improvement, and service. So we made it a membership site where it's very affordable to anyone, $9.97 a month, to receive a plethora, just so much wonderful quality content from authors, speakers, experts who say, yes, Paula, I will give you content every 2 weeks, just live link to my website. So it's a win-win. And then 97 a month, and then they get to go, just more involvement, more training, more of my time, and then the 997 a month. But to be able to have and those are the women who are in the airplanes with me and speaking on the stages all over the world. And so creating something and thinking about you, our wonderful viewers and listeners, and if you think about what is it that I could do to make money, and I'd like to make some suggestions to you. I'd like to suggest that you find something that you are passionate about. So I'm passionate about strengthening women, connecting women, finding beautiful win-wins, educating women, and serving women. And my nonprofit is for men and women, of course. But being able to help people live better lives is so simple, and you hear it all the time. But that's what sings to my heart. So you find something that you're passionate about, you find something that you're good at, that you know you can do, and then you find a way to monetize it to the largest number of people on the planet. And so you might say, well, but Paula, I don't have something that I don't have the money to monetize this. Well, it does take money to make money, but you do have friends, you have people, you have ideas and ways that you can take something that you believe in, that you love, that you're good at, and create one product, create one training. And then if you don't have the money to start a website, put it on somebody else's website, and then have that training or that product, that supplement that maybe you even buy at a price and increase the price and sell it to somebody else. There's so many ways to do this, and we really don't have time to be able to go into all.
Paula, you're talking about take your wisdom and let it bring you a profit, because we all have wisdom. When my late husband, Dr. Robert Mueller, robertmueller.org, if you want to hear him and hear some of his talks, when he had a little bit of dementia, I started writing a column called the Caregivers Corner. Whatever you're doing is wisdom filled, and somebody needs that wisdom. And buying on GoDaddy or wherever you can get a website, you're talking $20 a year maybe, and Zoom is free. Come on.
Yeah, it's true.
Paula, you are such an inspiration. Now, Paula, you came up with this idea 10 years ago, but now you're really bringing it into its full potential. I'm going to ask you right up front, what is it that you think is the first step to making the millions that we need to run our nonprofits?
Well, I wrote a book on this, Barbara, and it's called Believe It, Become It. You must know in every cell of your being that you can do this. You must believe in yourself. There's so many naysayers. There's so many people who say, well, it's fine for her and she can do that, but me, I have problems. And you get in the pity and the blame and the victim mode. And those are things that you just don't, those are choices. And my whole book, Believe It, Become It, is all about agency. It's about making the choices. William James said, believe that you can do great and wonderful things, and that belief will cause you to do them. I mean, it's just so true. And all the philosophers through the ages have talked about believing, and that's actually the first step, because any person who says, I can do this, I know I can do this, I can take this gift or this talent or this wisdom, this knowledge, and find a way to make money with it, they'll do it. And there are so many people to help you. There are mentors on every corner. There are people, there are friends, or people at your church, or people in your community.
You said something really important, Paula. You said, believe it, see it, and it will be. Now, many people come up with, I can't do that. If you say that, you can't. But if you say, I believe it and I see it, Robert and I had to do a little trick, because a lot of people didn't believe in what they believed in. They just thought they could do it. And they had to go to our bench of dreams. And the bench of dreams is where you hold that idea so firmly in your mind. And when you see yourself, as you see Paula today, holding that dream for peace and prosperity, or prosperity and peace.org, when you see that, so clearly, then you take two stones and you throw one stone into the earth so the earth remembers, and you take the other stone home with you. We were at the United Nations, my late husband and I worked there for many, many years, and one of the ambassador from Costa Rica came up to us at lunch and she said, guess what I have in my purse? And I said, what do you have? And she said, let me show you. She pulled out her Bench of Dreams stone that she had been carrying for her dream in her purse because she traveled so much. So hold that dream, right, Paula? Hold that dream. Believe it.
Absolutely.
See it.
Yeah, that's the first step. And of course, any belief, then it takes action. But you could take baby steps. You could say, I'm just going to, really meditate and think about what is it that I really want to do, that I'll still want to do 10 years from now. And so then find out what is that I really want to do and that I'm skilled enough to do. Because God gave us all talents and gifts, and every person has them, everyone. What is yours? What is it that
you're never too old and you're never too young.
Old. This is 70. This is 70.
This is 70. Yeah. Well, there we go. My late husband always said, I'm not retired, I'm refired. And when we would have the elder hostels come to our little cabin in Costa Rica and sit on the Bench of Dreams, Robert would always start with, let me tell you a story. And he would talk about how he helped people understand their childhood dreams are still there. And that now is the time that you're retired and you have your own income to fulfill those dreams. And never let yourself die with your wisdom inside you. Paula, I am just blown away by your enthusiasm, blown away by your energy. And enthusiasm is contagious, isn't it?
Yes, it counts for a lot. It really does. But what happens is that you'll find that on a Tuesday morning, when you wake up, you open your eyes, you think those thoughts of gratitude. I'm so glad that
gratitude.
Gratitude. But then you jump out of bed because you know that you've got something that you're going to do that you're passionate about that is going to help others. And that is the key. When you know that you're helping to touch hearts and change lives, then that is itself a motivator. And whatever it is that you do, you'll be helping others, no matter what you choose to do.
I wrote several articles called Take Your Passion and Make It Happen. And I can tell you stories, and you can tell me stories about people whose lives we have impacted when they come up to me and say, I always wanted to run for the Board of Supervisors, and I ran because of your seminar, Take Your Passion and Make It Happen. And she said, once I made up my mind, and this is probably true for you, Paula, once I made up my mind, the universe supported me, right?
Of course, that's the way it works. But you do have to kick up your ask. And I say kick up your ask. It's just a cute way of saying, you need to ask for help. Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated. Just say, and ask friends, ask people in your community, find a mentor and say, this is what I'm trying to do. And you can shortcut your time, and still going in baby steps, but you can shortcut your time if you have somebody helping you who is successful. But don't be afraid to do that.
And pay attention. I always add to your wonderful inspiration. I add, pay attention. Those doors are going to open. And somebody said, well, how do I know which door to go through? Go through all of them. If you don't like it, the door can close again. Start by doors they're going to come to you. It happens all the time. It might not be in the kitchen where you're comfortable. It might be out in the world where you're in the grocery store. Go out in the world and let the world support you. Paula, we always end this program knowing that peace is possible. Our passion is possible, that happiness is possible. And so with all of that, Paula, what would you suggest that we hear from you on our last few words? I mean, you're a mom of 8 and you've got grandchildren, so you must have words that just ring into their soul.
Well, and I have many mentors, one of whom is Mother Teresa. I'd like to close with 2 quotes, one by her and one by George Bernard Shaw. So Mother Teresa said, spread love wherever you go. First of all, in your own home, give love to your husband, your wife, your children, your next door neighbor. Here's my favorite line. Ready?
Ready.
No one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness. Kindness in your smile, kindness in your face, kindness in your warm greeting. Close quote. And I love that, because if you love yourself and you love others, you can't lose. That's such a key. So then I want to quote George Bernard Shaw. He said, "This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a true force of nature instead of a feverish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy." He said, "I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. Work the more I live." He said, "I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It's a sort of splendid torch, which I've got to hold up for the moment. And I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations."
With those incredible words, that incredible enthusiasm, that beautiful smile of kindness, love, and sharing, I'm going to say thank you for listening today. You know, you can hear us in your car driving. You might want to listen to Paula 42 times on Spotify, iTunes, or Google, because her words are something that you're going to put into your daily thoughts. You're going to bring those thoughts that you've been holding back on and bring them to full life, because that's what our passion's all about. I'm Barbara Gonmuller, and God bless you for watching us today. God bless you for joining us. And please remember, share this. Bring this to your group of girlfriends, your family. Sit down and watch this and then have a conversation. Paula, thank you, my precious, precious friend.
Thank you, my sweet friend, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye to everyone.
And goodbye, and bless you. And remember, it's not what you're thinking that's going to stop you. It's what you're doing that's going to propel you. I love you. Bye.